We spend our lives chasing more money, more success, more everything. But nobody ever asks, how much is enough? That question is simple, yet it's the one we avoid the most. Because the moment you ask it, you confront the truth. That maybe all the running, all the grinding, all the comparison was never about freedom. It was about fear. Fear of not being enough. We grow up in a world that worships more followers, more income, more square footage. Every ad whispers the same message. You're almost there. You just need a little bit more. And so, we run. We run faster than ever before. But the finish line keeps moving. You get the job. You get the promotion. You buy the car. You feel good for a while, but then you scroll and someone else has more, a better view, a newer model, a life that seems just out of reach. Suddenly, what once felt like success feels small again. And so the chase begins again. Endless, invisible, exhausting. We were told the goal was to win the race, but nobody said the race had no end. The truth is, the modern world is designed to keep you unsatisfied. It feeds on your attention, your ambition, your comparison. It sells you the dream of freedom while quietly taking your peace. And you start to believe that happiness lives somewhere just beyond your current income. Just one more deal, one more raise, one more upgrade. Then, finally, you'll rest. But rest never comes, because enough never arrives on its own. You have to define it. The problem isn't that we want too much. It's that we never stop to decide what's truly enough. We call it success. But sometimes, success is just another word for noise. The louder your achievements, the harder it becomes to hear yourself. We live in a world where the appearance of wealth matters more than wealth itself, where people borrow money to look rich to people who are also pretending. It's a silent illusion, a parade of anxiety dressed as luxury. Real wealth doesn't shout. It doesn't sparkle under bright lights or scream for attention on social media. It moves quietly, like peace of mind. It lives in moments that don't need to be posted. It's in sleeping deeply because you owe no one. It's in the morning coffee that tastes better because you're not in a rush. It's in knowing that what you have is already enough. There are people who make millions but can't sleep. They lie awake at 3 a.m., haunted by the fear of losing what they built. Then there are others who live simply, walk freely, and laugh often. And somehow they seem richer. Because they are. Wealth is not the car you drive. It's the life you don't have to escape from. It's silence that feels comfortable. It's the ability to say no. It's the luxury of time. Time to think, to breathe, to be. We've confused display with depth. We've traded peace for proof. But the moment you stop needing to prove anything, you start to feel something new. A lightness, a quiet confidence that doesn't depend on the opinions of others. That's real wealth. That's freedom. There's a story about a man who worked his whole life chasing success. He climbed every ladder, ticked every box, built every wall around himself. One day, at the top of it all, he looked down and realized he had no one left to share it with. No peace, no joy, just achievements, perfectly arranged, in an empty room. He thought he was rich, but he was only surrounded by things. And things, no matter how many you collect, can't fill the silence inside. Then there's another man, one who walked away. He sold the excess, left the noise, moved somewhere small and quiet. He started spending his mornings with his kids, his afternoons in the garden, and his evenings watching the sun fade instead of screens glow. He didn't have much by the world's standards, but he smiled more. He laughed more. He finally felt alive. That's what happens when you decide what's enough for you. Not for them, for you. Defining enough isn't settling. It's self-respect. It's the courage to draw a line in a world that tells you there are none. It's realizing that no external number, not your salary, not your net worth, not your follower count, can measure the feeling of contentment. Because contentment isn't built by addition. It's built by subtraction, by removing what doesn't matter until only peace remains. Enough is not a limit. It's a liberation. When you know you're enough, you stop playing games you don't need to win. You stop running races you didn't choose. You stop trading your peace for prestige. Enough means you can work without fear, earn without envy, live without pretending. Imagine a life where you wake up and don't feel behind, where you're not comparing your chapter to someone else's highlight reel, where your happiness doesn't depend on what's next, but on what's now. That's what it feels like to reach enough. It's calm. It's quiet. It's freedom disguised as simplicity. Maybe that's the real secret. The richest person isn't the one who has the most. It's the one who needs the least. Because when you need less, you're never poor. You're never desperate. You're never controlled by what others think you lack. You're content. And that's a kind of wealth nobody can take from you. Money can buy comfort, but not peace. It can buy pleasure, but not purpose. It can buy attention, but never self-worth. And when you finally see that, you stop chasing shadows and start building substance. You start living, not just earning. You start enjoying, not just owning. And you realize that freedom doesn't come from having more. It comes from wanting less. So ask yourself tonight, how much is enough? Enough money? Enough success? Enough validation? What does it look like for you? Because once you answer that, you'll stop running in circles and start walking in peace. You'll never be free chasing what you don't need. The real secret of wealth is knowing when to stop, to look around, and to whisper to yourself, "This is enough." If this story changed how you see money, subscribe for more cinematic lessons about wealth and peace.